you live from my apartment. It's Rob Has a Podcast. And now, here's a man who also cries every time a butterfly lands on him. Better not land on me. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Eviction Night special. At the end of the round trip tickets, no tickets are redeemed, and we are ready to talk about the eviction of Poli Calafiore. But the question will be at this hour for how long, as a post-jury buyback is coming into the game next week. But a lot to discuss with a great panel here tonight. Of course, joining us here once again, it is a Thursday. So, of course, you know we're going to hear from Brent Walgamont. Brent, how are you?
Rob, doing great tonight. Happy to be here and happy to be with my girl, Allie, from our RuPaul's Drag Race podcast. Introduce her now.
Throwing an introduction to Allie Lasher, who joins us for the first time on the live show.
Hey guys, I love the double introduction. That was amazing.
A double introduction for those of you guys who are listening to the podcast version. Allie, of course, that you can hear on a number of our wrap-ups, including the MTV Challenge wrap-up and Are You the One, and the newly added RuPaul's Drag Race wrap-up, which will be dropping soon with Brent, with Allie, and with Mike Bloom. That Allie has a poster of Paul on the wall, a friendship poster.
I love it. I'm getting political. I'm getting into the spirit. It's too soon to tell if this is my favorite episode, like it's too soon to tell with Paula and Zakia, but I'm willing to say it's my favorite episode of the season.
That means no. That means no. I just want to say, every people, that means no. All right. Allie, why was it your favorite episode? Because that you're just a typical Jersey girl, and you just want to see a Calafiore brought down.
I have so many things to say about everything Paulie has said this week. Like a typical Jersey girl, I would probably also reject Paulie, which I feel like is what has happened to him his entire life, which is why he has animosity towards typical Jersey girls.
Yeah.
I just love the energy of this episode. I mean, so many things were hysterical, like from Paulie's apple pie flag waving to just the absurd goodbye eviction speeches. I mean, I'm so excited to be here talking about this.
Great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We had a Brentshell segment. Wow, what a week for Brentshell, Brent, to go from on RHAP just one Thursday ago to on Big Brother the following Thursday. What a magical consecutive 2 weeks.
I know, you were so on top of it. You got them on Rob Has a Podcast. We got to do a podcast with them, and with Adora, who even got in on the podcast and did her great Big Beach impression, and then all of a sudden they're back on Big Brother proper with Thursday with Julie.
Yeah, she had her RHAP debut 1 week before she had her debut on the Big Brother Propa 604. Anyway, so we've got a lot to do tonight. Of course, the first of two, actually it's the second of 3 nights in a row where we're doing our live Big Brother show. We are going to be live on Friday night as well, following the Ziggy Marley Carnival that is taking place, which this just looks like one of those things that it's going to be too good of an opportunity to pass up to podcast about this. Brent, are you a big Ziggy Marley fan?
Rob, I don't even know who Ziggy Marley is. I'm like, I think he related to Bob Marley, and I thought it was a joke, but then I know, right? Then I was astounded to find out that it was actually true. Like, I actually guessed correctly. No idea who this guy is. Good time for the house guests, and we'll see what happens on the podcast.
Allie, are you a big reggae fan?
Yeah, man. No, I'm just upset that I'm here on Thursday instead of the coveted Friday slot. I mean, I feel like you're gypping me here.
You can come back tomorrow, I know, but you're off to law school, right?
I'm off to law school, but I mean, if you're giving me the opportunity to podcast about Ziggy Marley, law school, Ziggy Marley,
yes, well,
I might make some room.
Congratulations on heading off to law school, and great. I'd like to think your work on the wrap-ups played some small part in that.
I did actually make a video about it, and it got me into one of the schools, so...
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to hear. Anyway, of course, so we'll be back tomorrow night live, myself and Taryn Armstrong, and if we find a reggae expert along the way, that might also be of some help. I also want to take a lot of questions from you guys, so use that bigbrother@robasawebsite.com email address, because I have a feeling we'll be a little light on things to talk about, and not in the comedy sense on the Big Brother podcast tomorrow night. And we'll also do a live update. What happened? No HOH competition tonight, Brent? And not even a mention of it.
No HOH whatsoever. The feeds are down right now, by the way, and they're going to be down until about 11 o'clock Big Brother time, which is 2 a.m. our time. I have no idea what's going to happen and why they couldn't show it. I thought the buyback was going to happen tonight, actually, but then when they announced that it was going to happen next week, I was like, well, why aren't they at least showing us the start of the HOH competition? It seemed odd.
Do you think that we'll get the HOH competition on the Friday night show, or do you think they'll wait for Sunday?
That's what Julie said. She said during the when she was talking about the Ziggy Marley concert, she said that we'll see the beginning of the HOH competition. That means they're going to lead into it probably at the end somewhere, and then finish up on Sunday night.
Okay. All right. So more on that to come. So we'll have an overnight update in the morning with myself and Taryn and Alex, and then we'll do our live show after the Friday night episode, and then, of course, back again on Sunday. So plenty of Big Brother to talk about. But I have something.
Breaking news are happening now.
A developing story to report. Earlier tonight, as I was minding my own business, I received somebody came after me. The @Zingbot official Twitter account came after me hard earlier tonight. The Zingbot tweeted, "Hey @Rob Cesternino, what do you call a reality star turned podcast host? Broke. Zing." What? Why am I being zinged by the Zingbot a night after there is a Zingbot episode, Brent? What did I do?
I'm not sure, but it seemed to me like that the Zingbot scandals were far more important than anything that's happening in your life, and obviously he knows nothing about you. You have an entire empire now.
Yes. Well, I think that this is a thinly veiled attempt by candidate Zingbot to get me to release my tax returns, which I have said I will not do, and that this is just another veiled attempt. Where are those 33,000 deleted zings that the Zingbot said that he deleted off his private Zing server? Huh? Where is that, Zingbot?
They're waiting for Russia to find them, Rob.
Yeah.
Yes.
Russia, if you're listening, please. Zingbot is at a Zing server. Then please find that for me. Okay. All right. But that being said, let's start off with the temporary eulogy for Paulie Calafiore tonight on the episode. Boy, what a self-important douche this Paulie is. And really, I mean, that of the many things I could have been offended by tonight, I have to say the 5-minute soliloquy that he gave of, all right, Paulie, here's your chance to say something like, all right, now I'm going to go around the table and I'm going to say a little something about, it was like the worst wedding toast ever, Brent.
Well, I thought he was over at one point, and then I realized, he hasn't done Michelle yet. I kept waiting for Julie to butt in because she has done that before and said, wrap it up.
Cut to the chase.
I think this is like the thing with the pies. The red alert for Paul went off at every hour of the night, okay? Paulie and his pies, he only had to do a few of them, and even when he did them, he really, it was like trying to pull teeth to get him to do it. So I think that this is a little bit of favoritism on Big Brother's part. They're just trying to tread lightly here with the Calafiores, and obviously they're in their good graces. Otherwise Julie would have butted in because she wouldn't stand for that for anybody else.
Allie, how bad of a speech? Am I overreacting to this speech that went on and on and on?
If anything, you're underreacting. I mean, my favorite part of it was the Derek shout out because it's obviously Coach Derek's got to get some love in his goodbye speech because he basically did everything Derek obviously told him to do. And then also underrated is Corey's speech, which was just Paulie said it amazing. Paulie said everything I need to say. Why are you echoing this insanity?
Yeah. It was so long, and how many times do these players have to talk about how? And I know we're gonna hang out after the show. I'm gonna come to your town, and we're gonna hang out every day. Let me say something to all the Big Brother Hathkas that are in jury and can't hear me. That you're not hanging out every day. How many people from Big Brother 17 talk to each other at this point, Brent?
Not many, and when they do see each other, it's like at a reality event or a charity event, or on the phone or on Facebook. But actually getting together, not very much.
Here's what's gonna happen: that you guys will hang out the night of the finale, perhaps. Okay, then you'll go home and you'll text each other like once in a while, and maybe there'll be like 1 or 2 times that you see each other in September. And I'm counting 2 times if Adam Pock has a Big Brother digital launch party in September, if they're out of the house by then. And then the next time you see each other will be at Adam Pock's Big Brother 19 launch party. Nobody's hanging out.
You seem a little upset, Rob.
Right?
So that's one of my pet peeves when people talk about how much they're going to hang out after the show.
I'll tell you why I am not as offended as maybe the two of you are, as someone who's watched Pauly on the feeds. You know, Rob, we were talking about this. It's Pauly going through the stages of grief, and I really do think that's really what it was. At first it was denial, then it was anger, then bargaining and depression, which is what he's been in for most of the week. And finally, the last 2 days, it seems he came to acceptance. He realized, oh wow, I'm really not going to be Derek and Cody. Everything doesn't end happily ever after for every hero of their own story. So I was not offended by it. I felt like this was part of his acceptance. Of course he was a douche when he did it, but I was like, at least he's having a good time now, which is more than you could say for him most the preceding week, because it wasn't a very
Brent,
good time.
I get mad about this too on Survivor when people lose the game and go out in sort of embarrassing fashion, but then declare themselves the winner of the game. And I felt like that we were getting a lot of that tonight with the I know that I've got a fantastic life and everything is perfect already for me, so I didn't need this, and I know I'm going to be friends with everybody after the show, so it doesn't matter. I just want to hang out with you, Julie. I don't even need to go back in the house. Stop it.
Well, that's what's so crazy is because I feel like acceptance is being generous and please correct me because I wasn't watching the feeds, but Pauly's like maniacal laugh, like even with the Zingbot, like when he gets made fun of or when he gets evicted, he's like, it's like the craziest laugh. And exactly when he says like, oh, I'd rather be here with you, Julie, it's like clearly it's only because you are somehow convinced that you have the one-way ticket, and then when you don't, that's even funnier.
Yeah, he's totally rationalizing. Let's be honest. I mean, like, he was running this game. Julie was not lying. He was running this game from start to finish, from the moment he got off the block on the first week when he was saved on a 7-4 vote, and then became head of household. I mean, he has run this game, and so all of a sudden this week he realized, oh my God, these people can think for themselves. They're talking to each other. I don't run this game. And by the way, just so you know, he was fighting until the last minute today, trying to get people to give him sympathy votes, trying to get other people to vote for him, so maybe he could somehow rig a 3-2 vote with a few sympathy votes thrown in there. I mean, obviously it was a futile cause, but he tried. He campaigned, and I will give him credit for that.
Okay. Brent, did he ever, though, understand what went wrong for him in his game?
No. But I also think that's part of Victor and Paul. They haven't really told him what he did. I don't think Paul has ever gone to him and said, this is the reason why, because I think then Paul outs himself as somebody who was in on the plan, because up until a day or two ago, Pauly was under the impression that this was just something that came about with James and Bridget and Natalie, the whole evicting Zakiya plan. But then Michelle spilled to Pauly that all 5 of them were in on it, and that was a really illuminating experience for Pauly because I don't think he really understood. I think he suspected, but he didn't know it. So to find out that his best buddy, his PP friend, Paul, was in on it was. That was a self-reflection experience where he was like, well, what did I do wrong? I still don't think to this day he understands that if he just gave a little in the friendship, that Paul would have stayed with him.
So I want to talk about some of Pauly's other comments when he came out of the house. So this is a clip of Julie asking him about him wanting to basically quit the game and throw in the towel. This is from earlier tonight.
Talk about throwing in the towel. What made you want to potentially quit this game?
Look, Julie, at the end of the day, it's all strategy. If you thought your boy was down, I was trying to get some sympathy from everybody in the house in order to potentially get somebody to pull Corey off the block. And even when he was up there, I felt like I had everybody feeling sorry for me, but crying doesn't work for men as much as it works for women.
Oh, okay. So a lot to parse out in that statement. So first off, what did you think about the first part of that, Brent, where I wasn't crying and I was doing it as just to fake everybody out. I meant to do that, and it was just to get sympathy from other people in the house.
Rob, I think I can quote the jury forewoman here when I say lies and deception. That's exactly what that is. No way, no how. He was feeling sorry for himself. He really wanted to quit the game. He was this close to doing it. I mean, this close to doing it. He couldn't accept the fact that he was no longer in control, and he didn't want to let the house guests have the satisfaction of, being. He didn't want to be the one that got. Okay, that's what's going on here. So you saw it tonight in his speech. He wanted to take ownership of. This is what happens on Survivor when people say that I'm the winner. I'm the one who really won. He was like, look, I'm the one who's going out. It's on my terms, my game. But no. You're going out on everybody else's terms and on their game. You do not control what's happening here, but he couldn't accept that.
Yeah. And then, Allie, what about that part where I'm surprised that Julie didn't call him on this, where I think that maybe she just got caught by surprise. And I guess that crying doesn't work as well for a man as it does for a woman.
Rob, I have no idea why you're going to me for this part of Paulie's comment.
Well, I asked Brent the first part.
Yeah, it's just purely coincidental. No, I mean, obviously, it's just like typical Paulie bullshit of like, I have nothing. It's like going back to his fight with Natalie, where Natalie held herself together. Did Paulie? No. Natalie used reason. Did Paulie? No. And all Paulie has are these just like arbitrary things like stereotyping and, oh, it didn't work for me because I'm a man.
Well, who did crying work for, Brent?
I mean, he thinks it works for Michelle. I mean, he's still under the impression, like I said, he doesn't understand the true reasons of what happened. He still thinks it was Michelle blowing up his game, Natalie going to Zakiya, and that whole fight that happened that night that was the ultimate impetus for his game to be unraveled. He does not understand that the seeds for his game coming apart were planted far before that.
Yeah. Allie, I'm so happy that you're on the show tonight. You have, as I like to say, a heart of gold. And Brent,
and I might as well consider you a part of the Calipari family.
Yes, there you go. All right. So I will give Paulie credit for at least coming back and trying to fight, as you alluded to earlier tonight. At least he did mount an effort. I feel like the can I just have a sympathy vote is, sort of like lowest common denominator in terms of campaigning to be on the block and then asking for a sympathy vote from everybody. But at least that he did it, didn't go out and quit or go out in some sort of Shima-style rage in the week. So
I'll give him credit for that.
Credit there.
I'm sorry. Just to be clear and be fair to Paulie, I want to be fair to him because it wasn't just a sympathy vote thing. He did try to say he did try to say to the other house guests, look, keep me for my competition ability. I will go after Victor. It's not a good thing if you guys go after Victor because then if you take a shot at him and it doesn't work, then he would come after you and it would be a betrayal of him. I can do that on the other hand. Keep me and use me and I will gladly go out. I will lay on my sword the following week. Of course, he told us via the camera in the Big Brother house to the live feeders that really wasn't true. He would have gone after Victor, but of course he's never going to lie on his sword, and I don't think anybody would have expected him to. So I'll give him credit for at least trying something besides the sympathy vote, but they were just not buying it.
All right, so Julie drops the bombshell on us that, okay, nobody had the round-trip ticket, so next week she's going to announce that one of the first 5 contestants in the jury is going to have the chance to come back to this house. Luckily, it's not a battle-back type scenario where we're going to see where Paulie would have basically had a chance to just win one competition and get back into the house. It seems like there'll be some sort of a even battle between these 5 people. But, Allie, could we start with Paulie? Do you feel like that he's done enough to restore his image where if he comes back into the house, he just won't be dead man walking again?
I mean, I don't buy it, and I don't think anyone buys it. I think we got it in the clip tonight of Natalie, like, fake accepting his apology and then kind of saying to the camera, no, Paulie, sorry. I did respect, at least in his gameplay-wise, I feel like he was going to each person with what we saw on the show, with what would best work for them. So, like, James, let me be your meat shield. Paul, friendship, come on, give me a sympathy vote. Like, I feel like he was isolating the people nicely, but no, they'll be itching to get him right out of the house.
Brent, do you think that he could potentially come back with a vengeance like Victor after a couple of weeks on ice?
Well, obviously could. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard this, but when Julie announced the twist, did you hear the audience murmurs? Like it was like nobody in that audience was happy to hear that Paulie might have a chance to come back. And I'm really hoping that the producers heard that because we had the buyback already through the battle back. Then we had the round trip ticket, and now we have another buyback. It's like.
But I thought he got a good ovation, Brent. Is that the thing where they have to clap?
No, yeah, that's the thing where they have to clap. I'm talking about after Paulie was off the stage and Julie actually announced the twist that the 5 first jurors would have a chance to come back into the game next week. All the crowd was murmuring there. If you go back and listen to it, I mean, I thought it was really startling because it's the first time where I've ever heard from the crowd. Anyway, the point being, like, yes, I do think he can win a competition. Obviously, in any competition, I think he's probably an odds-on favorite. I think this is why it's imperative that the house guests get Corey out of the house this week. That way, only one of them come back. Because if the terrible trio, Paulie, Nicole, and Corey get back together when there are only 6 or 7 people left, they could literally run the game. That they would be in a situation that the Oz twins were last season, where if they played that one competition right, they literally could have got to the end, all 3 of them. So it's imperative that they get Corey and Nicole out of the house this week.
Well, I just want to say that speaking of the people on the jury, I loved that jury segment tonight, and that was so much fun. And Brent, I really feel strongly the person that I need to see come back into this house is Davon. And Davon was all of us tonight when she watched that clip for the first time of Zakiya going up on the block and then Paulie winning the veto and then not using it on her. That was the best, Brent.
It was the best. I mean, I hate it that Davon, if she comes back into the game, will have been out of the game for 3 weeks. But still, she has more game in her and more good TV in her than the other 4 jurors probably have put together. When she looked at Zakiya and said, he had the veto and he didn't use it on you, you could still see it on Zakiya's face that she still does not understand what's going on with her relationship with Paulie. She still thinks, regardless of what she says to the 2 of those girls, that there's a chance with Paulie. When Zakiya said to Bridget and Davon, oh, you guys could have worked together and brought me in on it, I'm like, no, bitch, they could not have brought you in on it because you're still too thirsty for Paulie. I'm glad we have Allie here because, Allie, I really want to get your opinion of Zakiya and what the hell happened to this girl. We saw her come into the house, an articulate, eloquent girl, and now she absolutely sucks. What happened to her?
She got a little bit of that Cali Fury charm.
I was so excited for this jury segment because I was like, great, finally Day will watch us and explain to Zakiya what happened in the house while Zakiya was there and somehow missed everything. I don't know what happened to Zakiya. I mean, look, I want to say that, no, I would never be in that situation. I don't know. Like, it's so bizarre to me because he falls off and Zakiya was perceptive. Like, I was impressed with that. Obviously, it was obvious. But someone so blinded might not spot it. So when Paulie goes off right after her in the HOH, she picked up on that enough to cry, like, go with your gut, girl. I don't know what Paulie was saying or doing with her off camera that I didn't see to make her feel like this was realer than we saw. But I don't know. There's no defense. I think she was, like, totally blind, totally misdirected, and just totally fell for him.
Well, I think, look, nobody wants to be embarrassed, and I think that's what's happening here. It's sort of like Paulie tonight. Like, she doesn't want to admit that she got. In order for her to admit that the relationship with Paulie isn't what she thinks it is, she's going to have to own a little bit of embarrassment. Like, okay, I made a wrong call there. There's really nothing here, even though I thought there was something here. What? As for what Paulie was doing, he was just giving her enough physical attention, enough affection to keep her in line, and he said that to the other boys. She'll do what I tell her to do, which is exactly why they ended up evicting her.
What's going to be super awkward over the next week is then when Paulie gets to the jury house and he's like, hey, Z, I'm here. Let's go. And Davon is just giving Zakiya the side eye to the extreme of, like, what are you doing? Did you learn nothing this entire time? Allie, who do you think will win out in that if you have the Davon versus Paulie battle for Zakiya in the jury house?
Well, Davon will be back in the house, right? So then there will be no one there.
Not for a week, though. Not for a week.
No, I mean, obviously Paulie's going to win out. Zakiya, $500,000 didn't win out against Paulie, so obviously Davon's not going to win out against Paulie.
Agreed. Yeah. Rob, the thirst is strong with that one.
Look,
there's no
I was
way.
just playing a game, and then I got emotional, and I was trying to pull off my strategy. So we'll see what's up. And I'm claustrophobic right now, so this is going to be too much for you to get in my face, Devon. So, all right, let's go then to something that I've been talking about on the shows, Brent, which I'm not sure if you, I think you disagree with me on this. I said that I feel like that Big Meech has put herself in a position where I think she has a good shot to win the game from almost no shot to win a couple of weeks ago. And then we saw, and it's one of the beauties of giving these big speeches in these moments, big speech Meech, where you tell everybody off, and everybody in the jury house is like standing up and cheering, like, you go, Meech. Oh, there's our girl. I can't believe you did it. That's 3 jurors that were standing up and cheering for her tonight, Brent.
Yeah, and that's very important. A lot of people underestimate this in the Big Brother house. You know, the house guests who are in the jury, they do not see what happens in the Big Brother house except for the competitions and the eviction. So that they see the speeches before you're evicted. It's important to use that to speak to the jurors and use that to get them to root for you. I think Janelle tried to do this in All Stars. Other people have tried to do this where, you know.
I hope they have 2 DVDs for Paulie's speech tonight.
Well, possibly, yeah. It might run a little bit long there. But, I mean, look, people are going to see that, and they're going to empathize with you. So I love it that Michelle did that. I agree with you that she's put herself in a position now where she can win the game. As to whether or not she will is another story, but she was drawing dead before. I think I agreed with Alex. She was drawing dead. And now I think people, they see that in their perception, they think that Michelle blew this game up and took the game by the horns, okay, for a moment. And I think that may be enough for them to get them to reevaluate her game.
Allie, are you feeling the Meech-mentum?
No, honestly, I want to ask you guys, like, what am I missing? Because besides for the, actually, that makes sense to me that, okay, the jury, at least these 3 women are hearing this and are happy to hear it. Other than that, I mean, I feel like she got a great nickname, and all of a sudden, like, she's a great game player. I feel like aside from having the jury hear it, that was like the dumbest thing. I don't even know that was premeditated. I don't believe that was premeditated. That was just her playing emotionally, mouthing off, like trying to blow up the game before she left. When she wasn't out of the house yet, I don't understand how Meech can be considered a good player at this point. I feel like she's just rewarded for having been a bad player. Like, now she's a GOAT, so that's like somehow, you know, I'm supposed to be impressed by the fact that she made herself a GOAT?
But no, I don't think. Since when do you have to be a good player to win Big Brother?
Exactly. You just have to be somebody that they like. And right now, the jury certainly likes Big Meech.
I don't like her.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's explore this. Why don't you like her? Just because you feel like that as a game player that you don't think that she's on the top level, or just because she's not Paul?
She's definitely not on the top level, but that has never stopped me before from liking someone. I just I don't like that she doesn't stand by it. Like, I heard, I've honestly listened to so much Big Brother podcasting in the past week, so I'm not sure who said this on which happy hour or your show, but that she like owns her game, that she owns that she's, I disagree that she owns her game. I feel like she owned her game by saying, Nicole, you're a snake, and Paulie, I'm coming after you. And then she cried hysterically afterwards because Bridget, a girl that she'd been picking on, went home. Like, that's not owning your game. If you're going to be a bitch till the end. Don't, one day I'm angry, one day I'm mean, and then one day I'm hysterically crying because my friend left the house.
Yeah, and I don't want to be painted into being like this huge Big Meech apologist. I'm just looking at the game board right now, and I see her as somebody that she's got 3 people in the jury house that are cheering her on right now. And this was before I even saw tonight's episode where we actually saw them cheering for her. And she is the one sole person who's a straggler with all these pairs in the house, and I don't think she's anybody's target. And what I like about her in this spot is that I feel like that when it gets down to, okay, count everything in the house, or on what day did this happen, I think that as a super fan, I think she has a good shot to win an HOH or 2 down the stretch here, and I think that she might even be thought of as somebody, I can beat her in the end. and then somebody takes her to the final two, and it's like, oh wait, what? Like Nicole, hypothetically, if she's still around, she might say, oh, Big Meech is the best person for me to bring to the end, and ends up losing to Big Meech.
Should I call her a loser? Would that solidify her winner status?
No.
She's a loser. She's a
if anything,
loser.
I'm solidifying she's going out on Thursday by talking her up like this. So
I wanted to just make a note really quickly that Paulie made a note to Michelle earlier today when he was trying to campaign to her that, you're going to be the last singleton left between 3 duos. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that could have been Davon. Remember when Davon was presented with that opportunity? Like, you can be the 5th wheel between these 2 duos. And she was like, no, I don't want that. What a terrible place that would be, because I would always be on the outs. But look, the great position that Michelle is in right now. Such a miscalculation on Davon's part. If she does get back into the house, I'm hoping that she can course correct and take advantage of that opportunity. But I don't know if she can.
Okay. All right. So let's start to look ahead now to this week without Paulie in the house. And again, we don't know who's going to be coming back 1 week from now, but we can't be worried about that right now because somebody is going home this week. Brent, who do you think is in the best position now to lead the house on this next, barring, we don't know who the HOH is, but who do you think's in the best spot here?
The two people who are in the most danger are Corey and Victor. I really do believe that those 2 people are probably the main targets for both sides of the house. If anybody from the 5 wins head of household, they're going to target Corey and Nicole. If Corey and Nicole win head of household, they're going to try to target Paul and Victor 100%. Nicole said on the feeds today to us, the feeders, if she wins head of household, she's 100% putting up Paul and Victor. Of course, they don't know about the America's Care package that's coming, but Victor would be her target and Paul would be the backup. Just like if somebody from the 5 wins, Corey would be the target and Nicole would be the backup. So James, Meech, Natalie, they're sitting pretty. So they should not win head of household this coming week. So, of course, I'm sure they're going to try. Natalie told James, I think we're in a safe spot right now, but you should still try to win head of household. And I'm screaming through my computer going, no, don't do it, because there's literally nobody that would put them up this week.
Yeah. Can I ask one Natalie-related non sequitur? Brent, was Natalie in a costume this week? I didn't understand what she was dressed as tonight.
How dare you?
It looked a little vampire-ish, a little Elvira, yeah.
Allie, what was she doing?
Okay, she's so on trend. You guys don't even know that Joker from the 90s is back with a vengeance.
All right.
It was severe. It was a little severe. But
it was a
I
little
love
severe.
Natalie.
Yeah.
It was a little severe.
She's doing a 90s look. Is this to bring in the premiere of Survivor Gen X versus Millennials?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I changed out of pajamas for this podcast, so don't come to me with passionate questions, obviously.
Yeah. All right. So, Allie, are you concerned about your boy and the status of him in the house this week?
Oh, this is an audio podcast. No, I mean, I honestly feel like he's got a great meat shield in Victor. I mean, the fact that Victor
meat shield? Okay.
Meat shield?
Meat shield.
I feel like the fact that he says you're my social game is like, it's clear that Victor's eating out of the palm of Paul's hand. I mean, I think that in this case, knowing that there's going to be a buyback next week, the 5 are not going to want to take any chances. They're not going to want to shake things up. They're going to want to get a Corey, or as Brent said, a Corey or Nicole out of the house, and then have the most people on their side, like Victor, like Paul, who can win challenges and be able to get the returning juror out of the house.
Let me say really quickly that Corey or Nicole will be evicted this week unless we come back from the feeds tonight and Nicole is the current head of household, because Nicole's already won a America's Care package, all right? So she can't win again. So only Corey can win an America's Care package. If Nicole becomes head of household and Corey gets the care package, that's the only way that Paul is in danger. If Victor wins the veto, then obviously Paul's going to go home. If anything else happens besides Nicole winning head of household tonight, then no matter who the care package goes to, Corey, whoever isn't head of household between Corey and Nicole will end up on the block, and as long as they don't win the veto, they'll go home. So
all right, let's talk here about this care package. I feel very strongly Paul is getting the care package. Is there any disagreement here on this panel?
I mean,
Go ahead.
Do enough people know Corey's name for that scenario to happen that like people would vote for Corey? I think maybe the Patriotard is the best thing to happen to his game because he stands out. Otherwise, he's literally wallpaper in the house.
I mean, look, Nicole has 400,000 followers on Instagram. I do worry that her followers would vote for Corey. And remember, there's only 4 people. 4 people you can put her vote. So it's like Trump in the primaries. Like 30% can carry the day here, especially if Paul becomes the current head of household, because they said on the show tonight that whoever becomes the head of household is not eligible. So let's say Paul wins head of household. Then they go to the second most important person, and Corey could literally end up with the second most votes in that scenario.
Because other than Paul winning the HOH, there's no way that he cannot get this care package this week. No way that Nicole Nation is going to... Yeah.
I don't think so either. I don't even think, even if Paul does become head of household, I do not think that Corey will win the care package, but I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say I'll make it interesting if anybody wants to take me up on this.
I will take you up, not just for
Paul haircut if he doesn't get it this week.
Oh, I'm taking you up on this. I will get the Paul haircut right before law school. Nice and professional.
Yeah. All right. So, of course, this is the special night of the year also where Scott St. Pierre is visiting and is here in the studio. Scott, do you want to say hi?
Sure. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hi, Scott. Scott, how are we looking on questions tonight?
I got about 23 questions.
23 questions. Oh,
my goodness.
We don't have time. Allie has a plane to catch in the morning.
9 a.m., 9 a.m.
9 a.m. All right. All right, you ready to dive into some of these questions as we go along here? Okay, here we go. Why don't we start off with question number 1, and this is from Blake Benji. At this point in the game, who's the safest bet to take to the final 2 and win? All right, so if we're going to say a person who is, I guess, call your winner pick is the question, not in terms of taking to the final 2 as a GOAT, I guess. Brent, who's winning Big Brother 18?
Oh, God. Oh, boy. I have to say Paul. I think the house guests really underestimate Paul. By the way, this isn't a spoiler, but earlier this week, I think it was yesterday, he did this great puppet show where he took the bird that was on Corey's hand, they named it Baldwin, and he made it into a puppet with a stick on its wing. And he did this puppet show behind the couch where he was roasting the other house guests, and literally it made them laugh. These are the little things that matter. People don't understand. If they think it's about strategy, yeah, it's about strategy, but you also have to really like the person that you want to give $500,000 to. Just like last year with Steve, when people felt good about giving Steve the money, they felt good about it in their heart. I think they'll feel good about giving Paul the money. I really do.
Yeah. Allie, do you have a winner pick? Are you going to say Paul also?
I want to say Paul, but I will say that my own LFC, Andrew, my friend who sends me all the live feed info I need, he sent me this hilarious clip of Victor doing the same thing with Baldwin, the puppet, which I was actually thinking that Victor was a total dud until I saw this hysterical, I don't know how long it was, bit with him doing the puppet too. I think, though, that Victor will not cut Paul, which is what he would need to do to have a chance. And then there's the whole I got voted out situation. So I would put my money on Paul right now.
Well, that's what is actually really fun about this season, and it's so not the case from like 2 weeks ago. I mean, maybe outside of Corey, is there anybody that's still in the house that you feel like can't win, Brent? I feel like I could make a case for just about every single person there. I just can't imagine mushmouth Corey winning against anybody.
I don't know. I think even Corey has a inside straight chance of winning the game, because if he gets to the final 2...
He can't talk, Brent.
Well, nevertheless, he said, remember the speeches have become less and less and less important. If, Nicole and Paulie and Zakiya is on the jury, that's 3 votes right there. 3 votes. So, it's not like he's drawing dead. I mean, somebody who goes up against Corey in the final 2 would at best get a 6-3 win, no matter if the other 6 jurors absolutely love them. So that makes me a little nervous. I think I agree with you. The rest of the house guests all have a chance of winning the game. I put Paul at the top. Victor right behind him. I do agree with Allie. And Victor has been such a revelation, seriously. I mean, for this guy who got evicted during week 2, who I didn't care about, to now come back and literally be one of my favorite house guests. It's amazing. He says such a personality. Like, he's shown so many things now that we did not see before. And I'm so thankful that we get a chance to see it. So even though I do harp on the fact that I really hate these buybacks, it's been a great experience watching Victor grow throughout this game.
Yeah, and when we're talking about somebody that can win, I don't even think we're talking about it in like, well, I guess anything could happen. Anybody could win. I think you could make a case for everybody there in the house, except for Corey. Allie, are you on the Victor bandwagon as a character?
I mean, I don't love Victor. I think he really lost me on his Mardi Gras, like, here are your beads speech.
Hey, that speech was on fleek.
My speech was on fleek.
I'm only upset, honestly, that his speech on Wednesday was decent, so I don't have anything to really rip on here, but that's relevant. I want to know, though, who does Nicole beat? Like, who? I don't, besides Corey maybe, but I don't see a situation where they get there. And I don't know if James, besides Corey and Nicole, like, I feel like James almost loses to Victor and Natalie 100%.
I think Nicole has a decent shot against Big Meech. I mean, she's got 3 votes locked up. You know, if she can get 2 more from, James and Natalie, I think that's a possibility. I mean, who knows how the rest of this game is going to go down if people feel like they got stabbed in the back by Big Meech. Nicole, if things go according to form, Corey is about to be evicted this coming week with no matter what happens because of the co-HOH America's Care Package. If Nicole is left in the house by herself, people kind of forget about her. On the other hand, like the Zingbot said, she really hasn't been doing much at all, and I think the other house guests agree with Zingbot. I don't think they think much of Nicole's game. She basically sits in a corner. I literally turn on my feeds. She's sitting in the corner with Corey, cuddling. That's all she does. And like Nicole or Michelle said, she only talks to people the night before an eviction because she wants to make sure she's safe whenever somebody else gets head of household.
Okay. All right, let's go to another question. This is from Jameer Floyd. Was this one of the best jury segments we've seen in a while? That was a really strong jury segment.
I mean, strong jury segment. I think there have been others where some people who really hated each other come into the house, like when Shelley came into the jury house and had to confront Big Jeff. I think that was there was some steely eyes going on there. So it was good times at least. When Bridget came in, I think Zakiya and Davon were like, eh. So that was about the most they could muster for her, and I think they were glad to hear that Polly and Nicole and Corey were now on the outs.
Okay. Let's take another question from Stephen H. Was that a compliment by Big Meech calling Paulie a poor man's Derek? Allie, did you think that was Big Meech sucking kneecaps on the way out the door for Paulie?
I don't think that was her intention, but if someone were to call me a poor man's Rob Sesternino, I would take that as a tremendous compliment.
Oh, boy, there's never been a worse insult.
I feel like in Paulie's mind, like, he'll spin that just because he's a little not right, and he'll spin that into being a compliment. But no, I don't think that was her intention.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't her intention. She was trying to throw shade at him, just like she said earlier this week, Paulie, you'll never be Cody or Derek.
Yeah. Well, you just said I'm the poor man's Derek, and he won, and I'm the second best that didn't win, so I guess that I am a poor man's Derek.
He's literally the poor Derek.
Yeah, I'm poor Derek because I didn't win. Okay. But I'll make $1 million by next week. My city says if Paul wins the bribe care package 2 weeks from now, how do you think he'd use it? How would you use it? Brent, have you given any thought to the bribing care package yet?
No, because I don't really understand how it works. Like, he's getting, is it $5,000 or $10,000, and he has to bribe somebody?
$5,000, yeah.
Okay, I mean, like, James won $5,000 already. Like, are you really going to throw away $5,000 are you really going to throw away $500,000 for $5,000? I feel like Dan Giesling said it best in Big Brother 10, like, no, like, that's not going to happen, I think, they've tried this bribe thing before, and it never really works. I don't know what he would need to do.
What about Bunky?
Did he? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, it's not going to work.
Didn't he take $5,000 and make the house eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Possibly. I'm not sure exactly what how does it work? Do they have to bribe the other house guests, or do they have to take a deal from America? I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to. Nothing will come of this bribe. Mark my words on this.
Well, do you think Paulie would have taken $5,000 to use the veto on Zakiya? Like, in a situation like that, can you use it like that? Like, if you use the veto, I'll give you $5,000.
I think he would have.
I would have.
Yeah, he should have. Obviously, I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Epic says, do you think that Zakiya has finally jumped off the Paulie train, or will she run back to him for the 1 millionth time? Instead, I would like to hear from the panel, what would it take for Zakiya to jump off the Paulie train? Allie, let me start with you. what would have to happen? What would Paulie have to say or do to convince Zakiya that this is not going to work? What would have to happen?
Oh, to convince her it's not? I thought you meant to convince her it's going to work, and it would just be like
no,
accidental glance.
nothing. A butterfly would fly by.
I think he would have to like wife up Davon while in the jury house.
Okay, so he would act like Davon is...
No, straight up wedding. Chris Harrison comes in, officiates a bachelor-style wedding in the jury house.
And Zakiya would still be thirsty for him if that happened.
Yeah, he would say to Davon...
And I might as well consider you a part of the Calipari family.
That's a proposal. But he's not so good with proposals, I heard.
I'm telling you, this girl has been told 1,000 times that it ain't going to work. Paulie's tried to tell her in so many words. Other people have tried to tell her. She will not accept it, okay?
What would have to happen, Brent?
I don't know. This is what irritates me because she could have been a great Big Brother player. I liked her in the beginning of the game, and now I can't stand to look at her. I really can't. It's such a waste. I mean,
what would he have to do?
I don't know. He would literally have to screw everybody else in the jury house, including Corey. I don't know. I mean,
how about this? Direct communication. Just, Zakiya, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work out.
That might work.
He hasn't tried that.
Okay, we'll see. All right, Jamie Bobo, Rob, what was up with that weird Paulie and Julie interview? What's with the strong handshake at the end? I didn't catch that. Brent, was there a awkward handshake between Julie and Paulie?
I didn't see the strong handshake. I saw it when he literally picked her up, and she looked like she wanted to slap him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me. I'm being flirtatious. That women love it when I act all flirty with them and pick them up off the ground.
Somebody had given him some happy pills right before the show started. Like either that or he was drinking. One of the two. Like he was a little bit too happy, I think, even for Julie Chen.
Yeah. Allie, what'd you think of the handshake?
I mean, I can't even get through it. It's like I wanted him to be like, I don't sexually harass only Julie. I sexually harass every female reality TV show host.
Yeah, it's not just. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. That.
Bred for this.
Yeah. Okay. This is from Jairus, who says, did Paul really have any intention of giving Paulie a sympathy vote?
No.
No.
Do you have Johnny Mac queued up?
Yeah,
no.
Sure thing.
No.
Yeah.
Like they were just trying to humor him. They were trying to like get through the week, let him say what he wants to say. But then they quickly realized that the more hope you gave Paulie, the worse he got. Like he literally got insane, and they told each other that. So they shut it down by last night and today. And Natalie said, "Look, I'm voting for Corey to stay. Sorry about it."
Shut it down.
Yeah.
All right, and then in terms of, we saw who had the round-trip ticket, and lo and behold, it was the man who found his way into the secret room first. We were all complaining about, shouldn't he have gotten something? Oh, wait, hold on. Now, Allie, you have like a huge fathead size poster of, or no, you're just holding up to the camera.
But this wall's very far away. This one is much bigger.
She has
Through the
two.
magic of Google Hangouts. Well, I accidentally printed this one. When I put this one up, it looked ridiculous, so I had to make a bigger one. I'm very bored.
Did you make these yourself, these Paulie posters?
What? No, definitely not.
Okay.
It was a gift.
I'm sure that you could take orders for them if I have a feeling that you'd probably sell a few.
I'll drop out of law school right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, put that up on Teespring. I'm telling you, you sell 100 by the end of the weekend.
Do you want it, Rob? Is this like, are we making a deal here?
No, you do it. It's your thing.
I'm definitely gonna do that. I'll be there.
He's not.
Okay, I'll tweet out the link if you post it. I'll tweet out the link.
Girl, you can make some money. I'm serious.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's good. All right, that's a $5,000 bribe. All right, so Brent, in terms of the Paulie having the round trip ticket, do you feel like that Big Brother is vindicated in terms of any funny business that maybe many people, including myself, have accused them of before in the past?
Yes. I mean, I was pissed when I heard that the person who found the room first didn't have any other advantage over the other house guests. So it was great to see that Paul was indeed the one who, in a 1 out of 12 chance, actually picked the right ticket. Of course, he was never really in danger of ever going home. So I'm sure the minute Big Brother saw that it was him, they realized, gonna have to do some other buyback now. And so somebody's coming back into the house next week. Oh, joy. Oh, joy.
Okay.
Can I say something unpopular?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you guys like good TV?
Love good TV.
Because
I do, sure.
I don't care. TV!
Yes.
In this situation, I don't care if they were to have rigged it for Frank to come back or for Paulie to come back or for, Day to come. Like, get someone good back in the house. Like, that's what I want. Rig it. Rig that situation. Not all the votes, not everything, but rig the little envelope.
Okay. Well, so this is what you would like, Allie. You would like some sort of like American Idol save where that the person comes out of the house, they sit in the chair, and production has like a buzzer that they can use one time a season, and it's like, all right, let's find out right now, are you going back into the house? And it's like, you go back in. And where should they have used that? On
Don't
Frank?
tell me it's happening. That's the thing. Have the courtesy to lie to me. Make it a nice production, exactly as they did. I was when I saw like Grodner tweeting about Frank, I was like, okay, this is so perfectly orchestrated. Give us what we want. A, give us something to bitch about. And B, give us someone exciting back in the house. But it's unpopular.
Well, Allie, they didn't even have to rig it. Literally, they did this all wrong. Where there was actually more of a chance that the round trip ticket would not be used than it would be used because there were 7 tickets left and only 5 of them got used. So it wasn't even a 50-50 shot. They should have just had some sort of wheel or some sort of thing they could punch on the way out, like a punch board, like The Price is Right, with like 5 holes. You punch out a hole, and if you pull out the round trip ticket, that's it. So at least they know it gets used.
But rig it.
But she's saying that at least pick the best person. Where I think that I'm not against that.
Then they could have done something where America voted on the 5.
No,
once they get 5
don't
jurors.
leave it to America.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, if I think if America voted. Oh no, you're right. Paulie would probably come back in then, so that would be good.
I like the save. I like the save. And we should have like some sort of like Big Brother Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gets to make one save a season, and let's put like Dan Giesling and Dr. Will on the panel, and then one time a season they get to pull the lever. And they're like, okay, guys, you pulling? Is tonight the night?
Right.
Like,
if they gave you TV,
let's go.
Exactly.
Okay,
I think the political veto is going to your head there, Rob.
That would encourage people to play the game, Rob. That would be good.
Yes.
I like this idea.
The Big Brother death panel.
And Rachel Riley.
Yes,
Dr.
Will.
Will.
Can be on it. Yes.
Thank you.
Let's just try it out for the internet version. We never try anything.
Look, I'm open for a lot of experimentation on the internet version. I like this. Okay. This is B. Sarpong. How awkward is it going to be when Paulie enters that jury house? I think it'll be awkward for about 5 seconds until Zakiya is like, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, I agree. It's not going to be awkward at all. I mean, like, Paulie has heard some things in the Big Brother house about Zakiya and how she was fake with him, and Zakiya has heard some things conversely about Paulie was fake with them. So they have ammunition against each other if they want to use it, but it was always a physical relationship to begin with. I mean, people, it was a physical relationship only. Zakiya is fooling herself if she thinks it's anything but that. Frankly, I think Zakiya is okay with it being a physical relationship. Just have fun in the jury house and get it over with.
It's only going to be awkward for the other jurors.
Yes.
It's not going to be awkward for Paulie or Zakiya.
Agreed.
Yeah, hopefully Bridget can have a new house plant that she can talk to while she's in there.
Mr. Jenkins.
So we don't have anything to report on the spoiler front, right, Brent?
Nothing. Feeds won't come back on until 11 p.m. Big Brother time.
We'll keep it going.
Yeah. Scott, how are we doing on questions?
We got about 10 or so more.
Oh, okay. Let's keep going. All right. Allie doesn't have to catch that flight for a while. Shannon Kish, is anyone else surprised that Rachel said she was rooting for Natalie to win, who has yet to win a competition? Brett, I know you were very upset with Zakiya saying that she had to play hard, that she was her version of Rachel Riley. Is Natalie fit the bill for you?
Natalie does. I mean, I wish she owned it a little bit more. Like, in the house, she's constantly saying, like, I don't have a chance to win. But she is also letting other people believe that James was the driver behind some of these decisions when in reality it was Natalie. Although James, to his credit or to his discredit today, said, basically, I do whatever the old woman tells me to do. That's what he said.
Well, he said 2 things in a matter of minutes where he ended up saying, first, he said, like, I'm all about good big game moves. I'm all about good game moves. In talking to Paulie, and then Paulie was like, James, can you save me? Can you give me a vote? And he's like, well, I gotta talk to the old lady. Whatever the old lady wants to do, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, he's a real Keith Nail.
I know. Apparently feeds are back on, but there are no spoilers to report as far as the head of household goes. The house guests are just rehashing what happened the week leading up to Paulie's eviction. Everyone's trying to make good with everybody because they don't know who the head of household is going to be. You know the drill, Rob. This is
I'm not getting the spoiler drop.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's nothing going on, you know?
Damn it.
Yeah.
Nothing going on.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to do the spoiler drop, and then we'll give you the Ziggy Marley playlist, Allie. Okay.
Amazing.
Let's keep going. Mr. Epic says, how real are Michelle's chances to win? Not only is she by herself with no showmance to paint a target on her back, but the jury seem to love her. All right, let's put a number on this so I don't get accused of saying that it's a definite that it's going to happen. I will say the over-under for Michelle winning, I will put it at 20%.
I think it's probably a little bit higher than that because I don't.
Oh, even higher. Okay.
Because I don't see. Mainly because I think she's going to get to the final two. I really don't see anybody evicting her anytime soon. I mean, why would they evict her?
Brett, 30%. 30%. Do I hear 30%?
I'll take 30%. The only way that
30%.
she gets. The only way she gets evicted is if she's on the block with the other half of somebody else's pair, meaning like if she's on the block with Paul and Victor as the deciding vote, obviously Meech would probably go out then. But that's the only way I see her going out.
I could see her going out at like the final four also. Sometimes that final four vote can be a little wonky in terms of who goes out, and it's not really somebody that we expect where somebody wins the HOH, somebody wins the veto, there's only one vote. Whoever, she's up on the block against the showman. So I don't think she's guaranteed to make the final two, but I think that she's probably in a pretty good spot.
I'm just excited because that felt like an episode of Card Sharks. Like, I'll go a little bit higher. I think it's a little bit higher.
All right, Allie, higher or lower than 35% chance for Meech to win the game?
I mean, it's got to be higher because I don't want her to win, and nobody I ever wants to win does well. So I would put it at like 95% that I'll be upset. No, I mean, I think it's higher than 30% because I feel like the situation where Paul's not in the final two would mean that Meech advances. Like, I don't see a situation where Paul's not there. What am I saying? No, I just feel like if Paul isn't in the final, Paul beats Meech, but if someone gets Paul out, then Meech, I think, has like a pretty clear
I think
road.
Paul beats anybody if he makes it to the final two. Brett, do you think there's anybody that can beat your boy in the final two?
I mean, I don't know. You never know how juries are going to go, especially with the jury of 9. But I don't think anybody can beat Paul in the final two. No way.
I don't think so. All right, Allie, which player currently in the jury house do you think has a chance if they came back in the house to win the game?
Oh boy. I guess it's hard because like the one time Bridget was playing her own game and not just trying to like win comps because of Frank. We lost her right away. So I mean, I think Bridget has a good pile of people to work with. I mean, she has good dealings with Mish and Natalie and James. But I would say Day is the only one who has a hold of what's going on in the house.
Brent, who do you think could potentially come back in the house and win? And if it's nobody, why are we even bothering with this?
Oh wow! I'm trying to think of everybody who's going out. I mean, I don't know if it's the person who goes out this week. If they go out and they come right back in, I think that's the person who probably has the best shot. Everybody else, I think, is drawing dead at this point.
No one was not an option for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Does the person who comes back into the house, do they need to pair up immediately with Victor and say, okay, Victor, you went out and came back. I went out and came back. We need to be to the final two. They have to vote for one of us. We probably can't beat anybody else, even though I think Victor could probably beat people. But if we go to the end together, they have to vote for one of us. Brent, is that a possibility? The old Burton and Lil.
It's a possibility, but two problems with it. Number one, Victor is entirely too loyal.
Why does there have to be a problem with it?
Victor is entirely too loyal to Paul, number one. And number two, Victor thinks he can win if he gets to the end with double-digit comp wins because he keeps counting these battle-back comps as wins, even though the other house guests don't. By the way, Rob, there is a little bit going on the live feeds right now, so I don't know if you want to talk spoilers. You just want to, you can. I mean, it's not very much, but you can get into it tomorrow with Alex and Taryn if you want, or we can talk about it right now if you want.
No, I'll do it for Allie. She wants to hear the song.
I had such a good Lil impression.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's do one more question, and then we'll talk about whatever Brent's update from the feeds is. Okay, so Andrea ZZ says, with all of these comeback competitions, how realistic is it for somebody to even think of having a strategy and plan their next moves? I mean, does Nicole have the right idea about this? Is this just the right idea to survive the week, Brent?
I mean, you have to survive the week. obviously that's task number one, but number two, you have to do things eventually that make the jury want to reward you in the end. I mean, she hasn't done anything noteworthy thus far in order to get herself a W.
Okay. Allie, what do you think? Is this just Big Brother in 2016?
I mean, I still don't know if somebody would win if brought back. I don't think it's a reason, though, not to strategize. I mean, I think you still need to be playing out every option in your head, keeping, like, there's a reason why Brent said, like, these three people are good no matter what happens this week. I mean, Nicole's put herself in a bad spot, so the last thing she needs to be doing is not strategizing.
Okay. All right. So that's going to do it for the recap of the episode. We have some live feed business that we're going to take care of. If you are bouncing out here, be sure to join us for our recap of the Ziggy Marley Carnival coming to the Big Brother backyard. Words I never thought I would say in my entire life. Brent, did you like it when Sheryl Crow came to the Big Brother house, though? Wasn't that good?
That was fun, and Sheryl Crow was very popular back then. But Ziggy Marley, like I said, I didn't know who the hell he is.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so here we go. Just for you, Allie, here's some Big Brother spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected, and that protective action should be taken.
I wish I had like the eagle and the friendship poster to also put up on there. Scott, were you dancing there?
Absolutely. I can help myself.
With some notice, I would have crafted you both of those items of the same quality.
Thank you. I think we need that. We need to have the Corey eagle here to be able to pull up from the side and be like, oh. Okay. All right. So, Brent, what's happening?
Well, coming into tonight, I was certain that if any of the five won head of household, that they would instantly target Nicole and Corey. But it appears that Paulie, on his way out, has done a little bit of damage to that five, and now it looks like James and Natalie might be turning on Victor and Paul specifically, and might be aligning themselves more with Nicole and Corey. So it's I'm not loving this. I'm not loving this plan either. I'm reading the update. It's very hard for me to podcast and read the feeds at the same time. But to summarize, Paulie hatched this plan before his eviction to turn Paul and Victor against Natalie and James. Right now it's working, as Nicole and Corey and James and Natalie are now comparing notes on Paul's lies and ongoings in the house. So specifically, this is a Paul-related thing. I mean, Victor is sort of guilty by association, but it appears that, at least for now, Natalie and James have some questions about Paul, and if they win head of household, I don't know what's going to happen. This may be something where Taryn was talking about how the twist this week, the co-HOH, if Paul loses HOH, the twist might bail him out here, because it's looking a little dicey. Again, I don't know. Obviously James and Natalie are going to talk to Paul and Victor eventually and try to work this out, but for some reason James really trusts Nicole, and that's where a lot of this basis in doubting Paul is coming from.
Allie, on a scale of friendship to pissed, how scared are you for Paul tonight?
I mean, a little bit friendship, honestly, because if Natalie were to win this season, I actually wanted to print a picture of Natalie also, but they were all in bikinis and I didn't want to objectify her. So, also I didn't want to, have Natalie in a bikini on the screen. So the only thing I'm worried about is Paul does not do well when confronted, as we saw with his abysmal handling of Paulie, asking him if he'd use the veto, and it was Porky Pig style babbling. But my only concern would be that James and Natalie would go with Corey and Nicole against Paul and Vic. Fine, let's see Natalie's rise to the top here, and then Corey win HOH, and then take them out, and then we're left with a Corey, Nicole, and James final three. Worst case scenario. This
is what's going on. Nicole asked James and Natalie, do you know whose game Paul is playing right now? And James and Natalie both said, yeah, he's playing Paulie's game. So now it looks like Paul is becoming the new Paulie. He's planting a lot of seeds with everybody, talking to this side of the house, talking to this side of the house. So that might get him in a little bit of trouble here. He's got to survive this week.
Okay, well, I'm not worried. I'm with Allie. I'm still very friendship on this.
Oh!
Oh! your boy is going to win America's Care Package, and I'm going to nominate someone, and we're fine. This is fine.
Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine, fam. It's fine. Don't worry about it, Paul Nation. The things are going to be A-okay, and it's going to be great. Even if, worst case scenario, Paul goes out this week, he's coming back in. He's coming back in, and Victor and Paul will be Team Zombie. They will be The Walking Dead, and they will be back to go to the final two together, and someone will win the game that got voted out and came back in.
Do we see Julie say, like, oh, I misread the expiration date on your round-trip ticket. Actually, it's good this week, Paul. Go ahead in.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I really think he's going to be fine. And, look, Brent, if they ever were going to mess with the care package, then if Paul was in serious danger, this is the week that you'd get that production interference. Not that they need that. I think he won it fair and square, but there's no chance. If he looks like he's going to go out, he is the star of the show for them.
Yeah, I agree. I am a little stunned to see this chain of events happening, although I guess I shouldn't be because Nicole and Corey are capable players, and Paulie was doing an effective job in making sure he planted little seeds. I mean, this is what we can call the revenge of Paulie, because he got evicted this week, but he really, really was pissed at Victor and Paul specifically, because he considers them a weasel, so he doesn't understand that Paul would have stayed loyal to Paulie if Paulie would have just given a little bit in the friendship department.
Yes, friendship, very important, the most important thing. And then one final hypothetical question. So Paul, I believe, will get the care package. I believe he will be safe on this week's vote. But hypothetically, let's say someone, whether it's James, whether it's Nicole, whether it's Corey, they put Vic up on the block. Brent, what are the chances that Victor could become the Ozzy of Big Brother and get voted out twice in one season and return to the house?
When they were opening up the envelopes, I was actually hoping that Victor had it, because that would have been great if he could have been, like, twice evicted, and now this is his third life in the game. I think that would be great. I mean, seriously, why not? This is the way this season's going. It might as well be Victor that goes out. Who cares? I mean, if he comes back into the game, I'd rather see Victor than Paulie. That's for damn sure.
Allie, are you in on this? I think this would be fun.
130%.
Yeah, 130%.
Got the pause in there too. Very good.
Yeah. Speaking of the Nolan twins, our own Alex Kidwell had messaged me before the show that friend of the podcast, Matthew Berry, was in a Twitter feud with the Nolan twins tonight after they were tweeting out spoilers. Matthew Berry was not happy to have the outcome of Big Brother ruined for him tonight.
Pissed.
Well, yeah. What's he doing on social media if he doesn't want to know?
What are you taking their side?
Oh my God.
I mean, not that I would, but I don't get on Twitter if I don't want to know what happened on Big Brother. Come on, you know better.
Well, that his job is fantasy football. He has to be on Twitter. There's a lot of football games on tonight, Brent.
Okay,
Spoken like a true live feeder, Brent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, Scott, what is this picture you put up here?
You were talking about the Eagles, so I thought I'd show that up.
Okay. All right, so we got to see Corey with the Eagle. Hey, Brent, you know what? If I'm ever on Big Brother and I'm on the block against a guy who's having a nervous breakdown, you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to talk the guy down off the ledge and talk him into not getting penalty votes.
Again, this is just his inexperience. I mean, he literally considers Paulie a friendship, a friend, a bro in the game. He doesn't even understand the game at this point. He really doesn't.
It was very Brokeback Mountain too.
Yeah, I wish I knew how to quit you, Paulie.
Yes.
Yeah. You're my boy, and I'm gonna come visit you. It's like, come on, shut up, stop it. All right. So much fun tonight. Allie, you were a great addition to the show. Looking forward to hearing what you guys are going to be coming up with on the RuPaul's Drag Race wrap-up. Why is this an extra special season of RuPaul's Drag Race, Allie?
Because it's all-stars, and it's your best queens, except for one, as Brent and I would agree.
Good girls.
Back and ready to slay. And
the twist, Allie.
Yeah, I was. It's
okay.
No, I love
it.
This is why we were amazing.
I stepped in your light. I'm sorry.
I love it. All shade, all love. Or no shade, but it's all shade. No, so there's an amazing twist, or we'll see if it's amazing this season, where typically the queens lip sync for their lives, the bottom two queens. This season, as you might remember, Rob, that was the format. Now it's the top 2 queens will lip sync for their legacy and help decide which queen from the bottom 2 will sashay away.
Okay. All right.
Unprecedented.
We'll see. All right. So that you guys will have a preview of the new season with birthday boy Mike Bloom, who it is, I believe, Mike's birthday tomorrow. So a happy preemptive birthday to Mike. I believe he's at a Ziggy Marley concert for his birthday, celebrating. That's what people tend to do. So, all right. Very fun stuff. Of course, Allie's on Twitter at Lash Tweets. Also, what else is coming up? The Are You the One finale?
Well, speaking of Mike Bloom, the birthday boy, I had Mr. Formerly known as Mr. X, Mike Bloom, and Mrs. X, Angela Bloom, join me this week on to wrap up the Are You the One finale. So that just dropped today. Really fun show with both of them.
It's so funny that you say that because in my Google Calendar it says tomorrow event, Mr. X's birthday.
Yeah, make sure you watch or listen to our RuPaul's Drag Race podcast. We preview all 10 queens, me, Allie, and Mike. It's going to drop tomorrow sometime. We talk about the new twist, like she said. It's alliances now on RuPaul, which we've never had before. Queens and alliances eliminating each other. Lots of backstabbing going on. I'm hopeful that it could be a very, very good season of RuPaul's Drag Race. And all of the queens who are back, with the exception of one, are really amazing queens, and I would really be happy with any one of those 9 winning the game. So, and the one who I really don't like, she ain't winning the game anyway, so we don't care about that.
All right, fun stuff. Of course, we're going to have plenty more Big Brother tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Go to robisawebsite.com/iTunes. We'll have our live feed update on Friday morning, and then we'll be covering whatever they're going to put on for an hour. We'll be there. I don't know what it is. It may just be a reggae concert for an hour, but one way or the other, we'll have a podcast after. Send us some of your questions, and we'll get into some more long-form questions that you have. Big Brother at robisawebsite.com. Allie, do you have a suggestion for the hashtag?
I had one.
Oh, please, Brent.
I got a couple also. What do you got, Brent?
It was Meech Mentum. That was the one. Yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah, Meech Mentum or a Meech Shield. So
right. Meech is going to be the theme of this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure Allie's in love with that.
Yes, so we'll go with that. All right, so we have plenty of Meech Mentum coming out of tonight, heading into tomorrow. We've also got a preview of the new Survivor Gen X versus Millennials season, season 33. 2 o'clock in the morning last night, I was in this hot room talking to Josh Wigler, who was in France, and we had a fun preview of the new season. Brett, any hope that Big Brother Digital will be a Gen X versus Millennials season?
Hopeful. That would probably leave me out of it though, since I'm 41 years old. So I don't know how that's gonna work.
That's Gen X. That's
okay.
Gen X.
Well, maybe I can slip in under the radar then. So
what is Glenn? Yeah. Is Glenn Gen X?
Glenn X. Glenn's eggs. Yeah. All right. Fun show. How we do tonight, Scott?
You guys are great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, level
Yay!
1.
Okay, level 1. All right.
Thanks,
all right.
Level 1 recap.
Looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comments, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody.